With regards to the Iranian-Saudi meetings, it is known that these meetings are continuing, and these meetings, in fact, began in Iraq. And what we understood from the two sides, or the parties, is a great and wide desire to reach positive results, to solve the outstanding problems between the two countries.
Sami Hamdi is the editor-in-chief of the International Interest. He joins us live now from London. Sami, good to have you on the show. Always a pleasure. Tell me this. How do we get from the attack on the Saudi Aramco facility, which was widely blamed on Iran, to where we are now?
It's very simple. Saudi believes that Biden is on the cusp of signing a deal that is going to be at its expense, that Biden has no interest whatsoever in what his Gulf allies have to say about the deal, that Biden is intent on recognizing Iranian gains in Yemen and in Iraq and in Syria, and that if Saudi Arabia does not quickly adapt to this very unfavorable situation by trying to make some sort of deal or come to some sort of rapprochement with Iran, then the next target will be Eastern Saudi Arabia and eventually Saudi Arabia itself. So I think that the impetus for these talks is this sense that after Afghanistan, where Biden made absolutely clear that when he wants to withdraw, he will withdraw irrespective of the consequences, I think there is genuine concern in Saudi Arabia that the Americans cannot be trusted and that now it's time to take much of the foreign policy in its own hands. So here we have a twin-pronged approach. We have one in which Saudi Arabia is trying to empower Mustafa Al-Kadhimi, the prime minister of Iraq, in order to try to support him in his bid to contain the Iranian-backed militias. And we see a simultaneous approach whereby Saudi Arabia knows that one of Iran's concerns is that Israel will form this alliance to scupper the Iranian deal. And therefore, Saudi Arabia believes that Iran, at least for the short-term future over the next 3-4 years, will want to find some sort of truce with Saudi Arabia. And now these talks are more about how to establish this truce until Saudi Arabia sees whether Biden will secure another term or whether their preferred candidate, Donald Trump, will return in 2024.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you make. So you're saying that the election of Joe Biden as president has led to this sort of recalibration of the region's policy. I understand that. Give me specific examples how this will change sort of regional politics and the proxy wars.
To be honest, when we're looking at the proxy wars that are taking place, we're already seeing the impact of Biden on their trajectories. We've seen in Yemen now that there is a new UN envoy. There is a specific US envoy, Tim Lenderking, whose job it is now to try to bring the parties together. And the US has applied more pressure on Saudi Arabia than it has over Iran. Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman gave an interview 2 months ago in which he said, we're ready to give the Houthis anything in exchange for a ceasefire, because he believes he no longer has the room to maneuver in Yemen. And Saudi Arabia and the UAE are preparing for a divided Yemen between north and south, in which the south will go to the separatists, the north will go to the Houthis, although the Saudis are holding out that perhaps if the Houthis fail to take Ma'rib, which is an oil-rich city, then perhaps they can impose a unity government and keep Yemen united. That might help in the future to contain the Houthis. In Yemen, in Syria, we see that Assad is surviving. There is this now Arab bid to try to bring him back into the fold. So when it comes to these proxy conflicts, it's clear that now they're heading towards talks, they're heading towards negotiations, they're heading towards a drawdown. The problem for Saudi Arabia is that in each of these proxy wars, it is in the weaker position and Iran is in the stronger position. And this is why when we're looking at how it's going to manifest itself, we will see compromise and concessions on the part of Saudi Arabia until perhaps a time comes in which it will be able to convince the Americans either to come and revamp the situation once more, or perhaps even bring in the Chinese and the Russians, try to assert greater independence and essentially try to push back against Iran once more. But the final point I will make is while we use terms such as reconciliation, rapprochement and the like, these are very inaccurate terms. What we're seeing is an Iranian victory in that they forced the Americans to recognize their militias in Iraq, Yemen, and Syria, to force the Americans to recognize Iranian gains in these places. The Americans have no appetite to push them back. They're weary. They think, forget it, let's just make a deal. And Saudi Arabia is in a panic now because if the status quo stays as it is and reconciliation lasts under these current dynamics, Saudi Arabia's future is not stability, but rather instability that is caused by an ever-growing, ever-expansionist Iran.
All right, Sami, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, but some really great analysis. Thank you very much for joining us.